All right, welcome to Team Futurism. My name is Peter Clarke, and I'm joined today by the one and only Devon Carsen.
Okay.
So, friend of the pod, Elon Musk, was just on Joe Rogan, friend of the pod. And I listened to some of it. My hot take on Joe Rogan is a hot take I've had for the last, I think 3 years. Whereas the guy, no matter who he's talking to, just has his same exact gripes that he goes over and over and over again on. And then, but never takes any enlightenment from whoever he last spoke to. He's just I don't know, it's very boring.
He's getting just kind of fully geriatric in his interview style. And it's pretty sad to watch because there's a few things that happened on the Musk one where I'm like, Joe, dude, you've done this the last 3 podcasts in a row, brother. You can't bludgeon us with this again. We don't give a fuck. We didn't.
He's got maybe 12 different rants that he just recycles and recycles and recycles and recycles. Like, okay, we get it. Homeless people. Okay, trans people. Okay, boxing. Jesus Christ. But okay, so all that said, I did not listen to the full thing. I listened to a little bit of it. I have not heard this clip where Elon Musk talks about what happens when AI runs everything. So this is a 2.5-minute clip. I'm going to play this and then let's come back with some commentary. So let me pull this up here.
Essentially, you'll have AI on the server side communicating to an AI on your device, formerly known as a phone, and generating real-time video of anything that you could possibly want. And I think that there won't be operating systems, there won't be apps in the future. There won't be operating systems or apps. It'll just be, you've got a device that is there for the screen and audio and for and to put as much AI on the device as possible, so as to minimize the amount of bandwidth that's needed between your edge node device, formerly known as a phone, and the servers.
So if there's no apps, what will people use? Will X still exist? Will there be email platforms, or will you get everything through AI?
You'll get everything through AI.
Everything through AI. What will be the benefit of that, as opposed to having individual apps?
Whatever you can think of, or really whatever the AI can anticipate you might want, it'll show you. That's my prediction for where things end up.
What kind of time frame are we talking about here?
I don't know. It's probably 5 or 6 years, something like that.
So 5 or 6 years, apps are like Blockbuster Video.
Pretty much.
And everything's run through AI.
Yeah, and there'll be most of what people consume in 5 or 6 years, maybe sooner than that, will be just AI generated content. So music, videos. There's already there's people have made AI videos using Grok Imagine and using other apps as well, that are several minutes long, or 10, 15 minutes, and it's pretty coherent.
Yeah.
It looks good.
No, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
The music's disturbing because it's my favorite music now.
AI music is your favorite.
Oh, there's AI covers. Have you ever heard any of the?
Oh man, that's the one that he's done the last 4 podcasts where he's like, "Have you ever heard of 50 Cent? Have you ever heard a guy sing 50 Cent song but soul style?"
That's hilarious.
He's like, "All right, man, cool, all right, I guess." That wasn't even the part of the podcast that I took exception with, but I will take exception with it though, because I cannot stop coming back to this, and it makes me so fucking angry, because I'm like, why are we waging the battle in people's attention when there's so many battles to fight? Why are we not waging this battle in the medical field, in the dental field, in the mental health field? I understand that it's being used for all of those things, but every time we talk about what's going to happen with artificial intelligence in the next 4, 5, 6 years, it's all assaults on creativity, and it's all this very raw, naked kind of capitalist cloying for our attention. And I'm like, you know, that's one of the very few systems that we've got pretty dialed in. We've been entertaining each other for tens of thousands of years now. It's actually not something that we need any further innovation in, unless the idea is to continue getting people spiraled into the addictive quality of media, which isn't going to be helpful for anyone. So I'm always coming back to first principles with this AI conversation, where I'm like, solve the problems that people are asking to be solved, not the fucking market incentive problem. If you're so concerned about it seeking truth, then why not have it be concerned about humanistic problems instead of entertaining people, man?
So usually I play into that same narrative, but let me fight it a little bit for fun. Okay, so the argument is we are using technology just to like for entertainment purposes, effectively, all this powerful technology. But it's interesting, if you spend your time in a world that like we're writers and musicians and artists, right? So we key in on that sort of stuff. If you're not a writer or a musician or an artist, you key in on others, on other totally other realms. And if you were to do that, because I do that a little bit, you would see that there is a whole world just as big and probably low-key more money put into it for medical research and for dental research. I just sent you an article this week about how like drills may be done in the dentist office because there's some new thing that like redoes your teeth, like you just a little gel and like rebuilds your tooth enamel. So all of that is happening. We just happen to be like more the artsy type, so we key in on when someone says like, oh, a new song, and we're like, oh shit, a song, you know what I mean? But like, imagine if you were a dentist, right? You probably are fed nonstop articles about how your industry is about to be completely disrupted and overturned.
Yeah.
And you're probably like, either like, thank God we're still living in the Stone Age with this shit. So like, thank God, or like, oh fuck, like I love my drill.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or I mean, like take any realm, like technology is progress. Like we don't know what's going on in the labs in Harvard right now. And there's also that's not making the New York Post or the New York Times headline because like it's boring. People click on like how's Hollywood going to be disrupted? Because we're all kind of dumb as we care about art. And like we don't care about like the new physics or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think it's all happening. But also that's kind of point one, kind of sorta. Point two is that all of these things that Elon Musk is talking about, like it does matter hugely in terms of the future of all of our lives. Because if apps go away, forget art, like fuck art for a second. People will always still sing songs to each other and paint, and none of that goes away. Like this actually has nothing to do with that. It's like the whole economy is over. Think about how many people are unemployed building little apps and servicing little apps. I do that. That's my job. Like if apps are done and websites are done, my job's done. Right?
Yeah.
And me and like everybody in Northern California is done with the job. So that's what I'm interested in. Like art to me, I'm becoming so just kind of like the value of art is to sing songs with your child. And to like write a poem for your mom on her birthday. Like art to me is like, I love this art, AI disrupting art shit, not to go into like this is a side tangent, but like, because I think that like, I actually don't like it that art is tied into capitalism so much. And I'm like a hardcore capitalist, but I actually don't like it. I think that we've grown up in this world. We're like, oh my God, like I want to sell 200 million records just like Dr. Dre or whatever. It's like, that wasn't a thing 100 years ago. There was no record label 100 years ago, right? So like this actually, we're purifying the art world maybe eventually at some level. I have rambled way too much, Devin. Let me throw that all back at you.
I'm like, damn, dude, don't even, that's a whole episode where you and I just scream and fling shit at each other the entire time, dude. Holy shit. I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole.
I gave you a couple little nuggets there, Devin.
It segues us perfectly into my main gripe with the Elon Musk AI conversation, which was this. he had this very facile, very erudite, rich person answer, which we keep hearing over and over again from people who actually don't give a fuck about the implications of what they're doing, where he's like, oh, because Joe, Joe knows enough to ask some smart questions about this. I mean, he interviews top dogs in the world pretty regularly, right? And so he goes, well, what happens when all these jobs go away, right? Because Elon's like, well, eventually, everyone will just be, they'll have access to all the goods and services that they need, and it'll all be free. And Joe very smartly kind of intercedes, and he's like, well, what happens, kind of the interstitial period? What happens when all these people start losing their jobs? And he gives that classic, well, the market gets that sorted out kind of answer, where he was like, well, when we moved from horses to cars, I think that was his example, but if not, it was something almost exactly like that, where he's like, well, when we moved from horses to cars, all these people lost their horse businesses and like taking care of horses. And I'm like, see, like, how do you have the cognitive dissonance as someone who knows enough about AI to compare those two things, right? Because it's not a single issue. This isn't one problem that's being solved and then in one industry is being disrupted. This is so multifactorial. This is like everybody's industry problems are being solved, and it's all at the same time. And there's knock-on effects that are happening right now. We just had a week where there was, I think, 100,000 jobs across 6 of the major tech companies, where they had these huge layoffs, and we're going to start seeing this sweep through society really, really quick, where we're seeing these kind of compartmentalized layoffs in these different industries as they're innovated away from. And he had no answer for it. He was just kind of like, well, crabs in a bucket, right? He's like, I don't know, somebody's going to win. It's not going to fuck up my body or my pocketbook, so why would I care? And that part to me is so patently disgusting, and so is a perspective that only a rich person who has zero fucking contact with like the proletariat world could ever utter something so disconnected from reality, man.
I don't share disdain for rich people. I just by and large, but I get what you're saying. Like I get that. One thing that this actually leads into one of my favorite observations about Elon Musk, and this was pointed out by Peter Thiel, and I think about this a lot actually. Although I don't think I can pull up Peter Thiel's examples here, but Peter Thiel observed that Elon Musk always makes these predictions, but he never lived like any of them are going to come true. He doesn't change his life like by selling certain stocks or moving certain places or doing certain things with his companies that are aligned with how he predicts the future is going to go. So maybe one example is he talked about how, like when he was joining the government and saying like, oh, this is going to make this new industry so much more successful. But then like he didn't move into that industry or do anything about it, even though like when he was like in government, like next to Donald Trump, like doing shit. That was I don't remember exactly the specific example, but that was the world. And like, so it was like, dude, if you actually think this shit's true, like you say you do, why not change like your behaviors to like align with this? And he never does. And interestingly, like no futurist does. Like very rarely do you see a futurist or someone who pontificates about the future and is in a position to like change it. Like at no point do you ever see them actually like meaningfully changing their lives. It's just very interesting. So I think a lot of people are just kind of like sci-fi writers in the moment. You know what I mean? And they're actually living. I don't know.
I don't have really a problem with rich folks because there's grounded rich folks. But what I have a problem with is people who control wide swaths of humanity that are able to make these prognostications that like either calm or incense, like all these people, like they're taking their information from, this expert being interviewed by this person that's trusted in society. And he's saying like, It'll kind of sort itself out. And I think that that's a really irresponsible, I mean, that's almost fire in a crowded theater level irresponsible to me, because none of the other experts in his field are saying that. Nobody's saying that. Nobody except for people who have zero skin in the game, because he doesn't, right? Like, it doesn't really matter.
When I'm kind of curious, I'm actually confused. What do you want him to say there? Like, or I actually don't know.
Well, I want him, if he's going to be the person that's developing this super powerful AI that's going to take everyone's jobs, maybe he could do a little bit of back end engineering on, I don't know, a political platform or a social platform that helps people survive the next 10 to 15 years of devastation that his innovation produces. If he's really this multifactorial fucking
he does say we need UBI. He says it's like a necessary thing that we, and I mean, Elon Musk actually does have a couple of smart talking points on this, where he says that like, if all jobs go away, we could all live in extraordinary abundance and everyone is wealthy. There's no, actually, I was going to write an article about this because it's an interesting perspective. It's part of that like abundance mentality that there will be no such thing as a poor person. Like, get ready. We're not ready for this, but like, poor people won't exist. I don't know. Like, you would actually like some of his other takes, I think.
No, I think that's real, but I think that when you're on Joe Rogan and you have the entire world's eyes on you, you have a higher order responsibility to be educated and to, when because politicians are listening to that, right? Like, Donald Trump probably listened to that fucking podcast. Like, if you're gonna make prognostications about how things are gonna go and when, maybe have some specificity or some answers for people who are losing their jobs right now, who are suffering from the devastation that this innovation is already producing. But you've got these fucking siloed incel, like 40 something to 50 something year old men that are so obsessed with solving this little problem that's a thorn in their foot that they could give a fuck if the rest of the world burns, man. And it digs at me all the time. It drives me nuts, Pete.
Can I do a little pro billionaire talk?
You get billionaires on this podcast. Nobody's clipping that. I got 5% on my.
Oh shit. Okay. No, I'll just read this really quickly, except this is an interesting take about billionaires. So everyone says billionaires greedy. That's like been a theme this week. But here's a little quote. This is interesting, food for thought. Jeff Bezos is worth $238 billion, even though Amazon has a 2.6 trillion market cap. In other words, he has created 2.4 trillion of value for other shareholders, plus trillions more for employees, customers, suppliers, governments, and other stakeholders. Actually, a good point. Gets lost in the wind when we like hate on billionaires, but
the whole fucking moral panic of the right is that we don't have a society that has any kind of that has any guardrails or moral backbone to it. And if all of that money is created, but there's all of these knock-on effects and there's all of these ways that it disturbs like current ecosystems of like people who actually have skin in the game and whose lives are at risk when economic winds change, like there's no accounting for that. Capitalism is so cold when you look at it from a
we didn't talk about Mom Donnie. Oh my God. 30 seconds. Hot take, Mom Donnie. New York.
30-second hot take on Mom Donnie. I love that a for the people person who is young and sharp and has a bit of a silver tongue is giving hope to anybody that's young and sharp out there, that they climb the political ranks and dethrone a calcified, disgusting politician, which is the only 2-3 politicians that he was up against are all crusty, befuddled old men that can fuck right off. Okay.
Amen, brother.
And on policy, I think if he can get the city-run grocery store, the at-cost grocery stores up and running, it will fundamentally disrupt and change the way that Americans interact with food in this country forever. We are in a grocery price epidemic where big agricultural companies and the grocery industry is making record profits, buying back stocks on the backs of people's food that they need to survive. And if we can have at-cost food that's not that isn't subsidized, it's just the government providing it to you at cost, that will provide downward pressure on the market and it will stabilize grocery prices. I fucking know it. I really think that if he can get that one thing done, it'll be a miracle.
It would be fascinating if that worked. I think the government is full of bureaucracy and inefficiencies, and they would give the customers 20 cents on the dollar, and the rest would just go to big government. So I don't know. I'm not a fan, but I'm down for experimentation. I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. Like, let's try it. Let's do it.
Dude, put your foot in it.
I'm skeptical, but I'm like, let's do it, man. Let's do it. New York, start the experiments. God knows San Francisco's run some experiments, so come on.
Yeah, Lord, not the right.
And they've all failed. All the progressive liberal dreams have failed in San Francisco. So that's my skepticism. But we'll see. We'll see, man. I like it.
What about you? What's your Mom Donnie hot take?
Dude, you almost summed it up. Like I'm pro him trying new shit. I think that I want to see the liberal dream tried. I want to see it try to live it out in New York. I want to see what happens. I think whether it succeeds or fails, I think we learn new shit. I hate the calcified, boomer thing that has been what we have known as politics in America for way too long.
Yeah.
And those stagnant ideas that they were bringing, I don't like it. Not a fan. I love his charisma. I think that every politician should learn from his social media game. I would totally hang out with the dude. I like how he's able to like moderate what he, how he talks depending on the audience. It's super fucking smart. I'm skeptical of his policies, but again, dude, I don't live in New York. Try that shit.
Yeah.
He's also pro abundance. He wants to like build shit. Everyone talks about how he wants to do rent controls, but like beyond that, he wants to actually like take positive steps to making it so that there's less regulation so we can build. Super into that. He also like I am a big fan of like trying to make daycare free or affordable. He's into that. I don't know. There's a lot of shit I like actually. Yeah.
I'm gonna push it to the last % on this phone battery right now. My closing note of the day is this, and it kind of ties into all of this. I think Trump has lost his riz, and I think he is capitulating to the affordability conversation in a way that makes him look. It's just funny to me, and mark my words, because I've been saying this for more than a year now since he seemed like he was going to take office, and since he's taken that, his whole fucking presidency is going to get gummed up this year, and all of these ridiculous things that he tries to do, and the bureaucracy of the United States people and the United States government is going to come down on him like a goo hammer and just absolutely stop him in his tracks from doing any of the things that he planned on doing for the next 3 years. I think that his abject capitulation to the affordability conversation is we got 2 governors and a mayor that came through in a day on the Democratic side. Not that I'm really a Democrat, dyed in the wool, but I can see the tide shifting. And let me just say this, final note of the day, just please, people who are watching this, if you're a Republican who hates us or you're somewhere else on this, just remember, the pendulum swings both ways.
Yes.
If you're to stomp your feet and cry every time the pendulum is on its furthest swing away from you, you're going to make us all hate each other more. You need to just wait until it swings. If it doesn't swing your way for 4, 5, 6 years, okay. But like, you got to be patient, man. Like, it only took a year for it seemed like Trump had everything at his back. And then all of a sudden, it's like the air went out of the balloon in the zeitgeist. But just remember that, man. Like, temper your expectations. The political process in this country is slow, and we built it that way on purpose.
Good stuff. All right, man. I'm going to bounce. Good talks. Till next time, Devin.